This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotatonetwork.com.
Watching television, watching television. Watching television, watching television. I need all the image, I need all the sound, I know the info right into my mind.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Trial by Pilot. This is the show where we judge an entire series of television and the work of hundreds on one episode. I'm Bill Lynch.
I'm Elizabeth Lynch. And I was wondering,
Yes.
do you have a recipe for the perfect smoothie? I'm also curious what your line was going to be.
I didn't have one.
Okay, good.
I was just delving right into the show this week.
Oh.
But let's get sidetracked about smoothies.
Yeah.
I assume you're alluding to the very first scene in the show?
Mm-hmm. I'm not alluding to like the last time we just talked about my juice diet.
Yeah, it starts with like an artsy, quote unquote, scene, like looking down into a blender as a smoothie gets
Like
going.
a very beautifully shot action.
Oh, it was sexy.
It was a very sexy smoothie.
I was rock hard watching that banana get
because every day you make a smoothie of bananas. I mean, it's always on the grocery list. Gotta make sure you got your bananas. And lately, you've been, depends what we have, but lately it's been like dragon fruit, passion fruit, jackfruit.
Yeah. Or some combination thereof.
Some combination there, or like mango, peaches, pineapple.
Yeah. Whatever's in the freezer, basically.
But like those are the ones.
And some spinach and kale and...
I'm just saying those are the fruits.
Yeah.
And that
I just don't want people to think I'm just drinking sugar smoothies
Well, you are.
every day.
You just put a little bit of spinach in them. It's
I put a lot of spinach in it.
All right.
It's like a green smoothie.
I mean, I just ate an ice cream cone.
I was going to say, are you done with your late night ice cream cone right before we...
It was very tiny. It's a mini ice cream cone.
So, Elizabeth, for whatever reason, really, really wanted cones for the pint of ice cream we had left over from having guests.
I have a question. Have we ever purchased cones in the entirety of our marriage?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Which is why I thought it was so strange that you were like,
Yeah.
I need to have fucking cones.
Yeah.
And you talked about it for days and then finally brought home a box of cones. And I hadn't had one yet. And I went in to get one and I was like, what the fuck are these little tiny cones? I mean, they're like...
They're
2 inches
minuscule.
tall. They're 2 inches tall. But then I had like 6 of them. And I was like, oh, these are delicious. I literally poured sprinkles into a bowl and just like dipped every bite of my ice cream in sprinkles.
That's genius.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I've never been so proud of myself.
Oh, why didn't you tell me? I just ate that and you let me eat most of my ice cream cone without sprinkles? I only had the first bite with sprinkles. Well, I made them the other night with Billy when you were out. We like watched a movie and had ice cream cones and like
Yeah.
I ended up letting him have 3 because there were like 3 flavors of ice cream in the box.
Well, so of course he didn't eat the chicken of his dinner tonight. And so he saw me making a little ice cream cone and he's like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, you tell me first.
This kid could be on the complete opposite end of the house and he just hears like it's like he knows.
He hears a crinkle or a cabinet open.
What do you have there? What is that? And he makes like a beeline.
And so he asked for ice cream and I said, okay, go take a couple more bites of your dinner and I will make you one. He goes, okay, I want all 3 flavors, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. I was like, okay, fine. So I like scoop it carefully. I make sure to get all 3 flavors in there and I give it to him. I was like, okay, there's all 3 in there. He goes, no, I meant 3 ice cream cones, 1 with each flavor. And now I know why.
That's why.
He did not get that.
You can't do something with him once and like then deviate from it. Like then that's the way we do it.
Yes.
Anyway, he also really likes the smoothies that you make.
Yeah.
And
We're smoothie buds.
but here's my question. What the fuck are they putting in those smoothies? All right, let's get into the show. What are we watching?
We're talking about 9 Perfect Strangers, a new thriller, maybe, on Hulu.
We'll see. I guess that remains to be seen.
Drama/thriller. It is based on a book
By Leanne Moriarty.
who also wrote
Big Little Lies.
Mm-hmm.
Also starring
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
I guess we're just going to
Talk like this the whole time.
and finish.
Each other's sentences.
God, this is probably so obnoxious.
No, they love it. My mom's going to love this one. I'm going to tell her to listen to this one.
No, don't. I was going to talk about being rock hard watching a smoothie.
I'm going to She called us today to tell us how much she liked the podcast because she listens to it when she can't sleep at night. And I was like, oh, puts you right to sleep? And she's like, no. But she did compliment us on not saying the F word so much anymore. Also, listener poll, okay? We want you guys to weigh in on this. She
Poll?
called us basically to correct us on the pronunciation of a word. And we think she's wrong, but we don't want to say it to her because we're scared.
No, So, we were talking about Mare of Easttown, saying how it was so dour. Mare's character was so dour.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's not pronounced dour, it's pronounced door.
It's pronounced door. And I said, Mom, are you sure you're not just doing a Delco accent right now? And she got a kick out of that. But also, like, I think she's wrong, and I'm pretty sure I've heard her say dour before.
Well, not only am I 100% sure she's wrong, it's definitely dour. I Googled a bunch of translation websites and, like, pronunciation websites, and they all said dour, and I texted her a link, and she replied, haha. That was the only reply I got, so...
Just so you know, Mom, I told him to text you the link. He was... Oh, my God.
All right.
That was really funny. But anyway, sidetrack
Let's
again.
get into 9 Perfect Strangers.
Yes.
It did have a good opening song and title sequence.
What was the song?
I don't remember the song. It wasn't like a known song. It was just like a good musical piece with visuals. It definitely had Big Little Lies feels.
I was just going to say, who directed? Is it the same director? Or...
You know what? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I
don't know
thought it was
either.
the same director or writer or something, but then when I went to research it again, all I could find was the author connection.
okay.
So it might have just been that I originally saw.
Okay.
But it definitely still had those vibes.
Yeah.
So we visit Tranquillum, this spa, new age spa that's like very exclusive and secretive, and there's like not even advertisements, it's all word of mouth. And we meet all of our main characters as they're like traveling to this spa.
Yeah.
So Michael Shannon is one of the main characters. He's driving with his wife and teenage daughter, or actually she's 20, sorry, in a station wagon, and he's like super gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
We find out that they're getting some kind of discount because Tranquillum is so socially responsible. They always offer a discount to like, one family a session or something like that. Then there's a young couple. She's recording a TikTok or something, driving like a really fancy convertible. Like that character.
They're like the influencer kind of. Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy's character is an author, and as she's driving there, she gets a call from her publisher, or she gets a call from her agent that her publisher not only doesn't want to put out her most recent book, but it's buying her out of the rest of her contract. So they're just like done with her. So she like has a breakdown on the side of the road, gets out of her car and starts screaming, and this guy pulls over to like see if she's okay. And obviously right away we knew like, okay, he's going to Tranquillum too. They're all going. And he's like trying to see if she's okay, but is also like
being
not very tactful.
Yeah.
There's another man, Lars, and a woman, Carmel. Not together, but we meet them as well. So they all start to arrive. They have to give up their phones, and everything about it's like the most dramatized hippie boho, like wellness consultants in quotes.
Yeah.
They show them around. They draw blood from everyone and concoct smoothies that they're not allowed to share with the other guests because it's specially tailored to their journey.
Yeah. But when they're like, please drink all of it and don't share it, I'm like, okay, they're putting something in these, obviously.
Right away, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, also because they opened it with the shot of the smoothie.
Right.
So like, there's something else about this.
It wasn't very subtle.
But like, most of the people are just kind of like buying into it, like they're excited to be there. Like,
Yeah.
well, especially Carmel. I wouldn't say that they're all excited to be there, but they also kind of like know what to expect. And this guy, Lars, is like super skeptical. And he's like, why am I signing this? Why do you want me to draw blood?
Yeah. Yeah, Carmel, I guess, was like a single mom.
Yeah, that just seemed like she was a single mom and she was like really trying to make the most out of this trip. And every time she tries to like start a conversation with somebody and like make friends with them, they're basically just like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, she picked like the two worst people to try that with, I guess, in the beginning. But like,
Yeah,
she gets like shut down. Like she
seems desperate to have someone talk to her and be nice to her.
Yeah. I felt bad for her, but she comes across as like super weak, I think, against these two other people.
Yeah. Then we finally meet Masha, who runs Tranquillum, played by Nicole Kidman. And she introduces herself to Francine first, which is
Melissa McCarthy's
character.
Yeah. She's having like a breakdown on the bed, just like crying.
Yeah. But then we see Masha watching the others in like a little surveillance room, which, it's like dimly lit with like green lights or something.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny that like they want to give you the impression that like she's just watching you all the time, but there's only 3 monitors there for 9 guests and like this giant spa and like a forest around it where people
The screens weren't divided?
no.
Oh.
I mean, maybe they were. I don't know.
Oh.
But I thought that there was 3 screens with 3 of the people on it. Because one of
okay.
the Michael Shannon's wife is like jogging through the woods, and she like is watching her jog through the woods.
Right, like
fuck?
where do you have all these cameras?
Yeah.
I bet, not to get too in the weeds with it, but I bet that you can just like hit a button and there's different views.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, it didn't have the impact that you wanted it to have.
Right. That was my point. Like if you're gonna try to paint the picture of like this all-seeing Masha, like always watching everyone, like have more than 3 screens in this in this room with like a very unimpressive setup. Like have a fucking wall of screens, or like have her and like 2 assistants there watching everybody. I don't know. So Lars, we find out he's walking through the woods on the grounds, and he's smuggled a second phone in, through his whatever Apple Watch and an earpiece, and he's talking about the spa with someone. He's like either a journalist or he's like spying on the spa for somebody else.
Yeah, I thought he was a journalist.
Yeah,
An investigative reporter.
Yeah, he meets up with Michael Shannon's daughter.
Yeah.
In the woods. I mean, not a lot happens, but they meet up. They all have like little pairing offs as we're meeting them.
Yeah.
And they're meeting each other. And they have like little interactions with each other. We find out that this guy, Tony, who met Francine on the side of the road, is like hiding who he is. He's like an ex-athlete, some famous thing. Because like someone almost recognizes him.
Right.
They all have like something going on in their lives.
There's some reason that they came to this ridiculously expensive,
Right.
completely like elite
Yeah.
spa.
I mean, like the family of 3 has lost someone, and I assumed right away it was like probably one of their other kids or something.
Right.
Even the wellness consultants we see behind the scenes, like one's smoking a cigarette to cope, she says, and she notes that it's a strange group this time.
Yeah,
something's
she says
off.
the energy's really charged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they all gather for this orientation on the first night, and Masha shows up, and like immediately people start interrupting her and like asking her like very pointed questions. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And she reveals she was a corporate CEO but was shot and nearly died, and she did technically die for a minute until Manny Jacinto's character saved her. He used to be an EMT, now he works at the spa.
Right.
Who played Jason Mendoza on The Good Place. And so they all gather around. What?
Smooth.
We totally blanked out on that name for a second, but I'll edit that part out. And so she says, he saved me, and now all of you will die, and I will save you. And she goes on to talk about like sacrifice and loss, and Chloe, the 20-year-old, runs off as the mom curses out Masha, like, oh, we know that you know all about our history. Like, why are you talking about this stuff?
Yeah.
And then Masha says something mysterious like, I'm going to fuck with all of you. And she does all this in like a vague Russian-ish accent
Right.
that like fades in and out.
Because it's Nicole Kidman, she rarely has to try. She can just do what she always does, and like everyone will be like, "Oh my god, Nicole Kidman's in another show."
All right, so that was the pilot. It ends with
Yeah.
with that dramatic line, I'm going to fuck with all of you.
Right.
I haven't seen a ton with Nicole Kidman in it. Like, I know she's like a big name actress and like a lot of people like her or don't like her for whatever reasons. I thought she was great in Big Little Lies.
I did too. I think she is a good actress. I am a little bit like tired of it though, because I don't think there's like an incredible amount of range. I think she's really good at what she does. I don't know. There's just something very like, feel like I know what I'm gonna get.
Okay. I mean, Michael Shannon's really good. Bobby
What else
Cannavale.
is Michael Shannon in?
He was in Boardwalk Empire. He's been in a bunch of stuff as like the creepy
Yeah.
bad guy-ish.
Yeah.
Bobby Cannavale was also in Boardwalk Empire, Will and Grace, Master of None. He was like the ex-football player or something, I'm guessing.
Oh, Will and Grace might be what I know him from, because he played Will's boyfriend at some point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, there are some very competent actors
Yeah.
in this show. Like I said, I liked Nicole Kidman. And the last thing I saw her in, I wasn't sure how I felt about this Masha character. Mm-hmm. A lot of the characters just felt like characters to me.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the washed up writer and the young influencers and the family unit with something tragic.
Right.
Like, I mean, it just all felt a little bit cookie cutter. Mm-hmm. You know, the single mom. Then you got like the mystery guy. No one really knows what's going on with him yet, even though we do.
Yeah. But like, that is kind of like Big Little Lies too. Like, just like the way you're like introduced to everybody, like everyone's like so different, and they hate each other and then they like each other.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I'm sounding like really critical about that. I think I just kind of got over it in the second season.
So did I.
And then like seeing Nicole Kidman in now this remake of another Leanne Moriarty book, where I'm just kind of like, are we going to do this again? Like, it just seems so like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, listen, I thought the first season of Big Little Lies was by far the superior season.
Yeah.
And even though, I mean, you're right about all the characters. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, there's this type of mom and this type of mom and this type of mom.
Right.
And they're all at odds, blah, blah, blah. But like, at least all of those individual characters felt real to me.
Yeah,
Because they all did such a good job with it. These characters didn't really feel that way. Like, I don't know. I didn't think this was like, whoa, like awful. Mm-hmm. But everything just felt like a little bit stunted or like manufactured and unrealistic. There was just something about it.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like the whole, like, if this is one of those episodes where you like have to get it out of the way. It's called 9 Perfect Strangers. You have to introduce all of these characters obviously first. And maybe just something in that whole like introduction just feels like a little bit,
Maybe.
I don't know what the right word is. But it's like, let's just get this, a little force. Let's just get this part out of the way. Like, I don't care about any of them yet because you have to do so many.
Well, then the pilot's
know?
not doing its job,
I know.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest. Like, I'm not that excited about this show.
Yeah.
But I thought I would be, and I liked Melissa McCarthy in this. And there's certain things where you're kind of like, ooh, I want to know about that. I wonder what's going to happen with this person. But there's also just like too many of them.
Yes.
There are 9 of them.
I thought
So
the
it's
same
like
thing.
it's kind of hard to like get super invested in them yet.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that like Nicole Kidman will do an awesome job as this like crazy off her rocker person who's like, you know, they all like have heard of her. Like I think at one like Melissa McCarthy, when she came in, she's like, "You're her." Like,
Yeah.
was so like in awe of her. Like no one knows who Masha is, but everyone's like heard of Masha.
Yeah.
But I can't say that I'm like super excited about this one. Like, I just don't know if I want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right about introducing the characters, but to me, it felt deeper than that. It felt like the way it was written was just like overly dramatic, and I don't know. It just didn't feel like realistic interactions with these people.
Right.
It almost felt like I could see the script, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel like anything flowed naturally,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe this for everybody to like know what we mean, but it just like nothing made sense together. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, the fact that there's like 9 characters.
Yeah.
Not just 9 characters. There's 9 guests at the spa.
Right.
Plus Masha, plus at least a few of the wellness consultants are going to be like somewhat main characters.
Right.
Like we spent a lot of time with 2 of them in this pilot episode. So they're going to be involved somehow. So, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a little miniseries to like know and care about 12 plus characters, you know?
yeah.
And so far, I didn't care about any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm, it just seems like when you have, it's disappointing when you have a show like this where it's like based off like this hit novel and you have like all these great names attached to it and it's like going to be this cool mini series. Like it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just not super like, I'm not super excited about it.
yeah, I mean, I thought before we watched it, like, oh, this is probably going to be something that we'll watch just because there's a good cast. The premise sounded intriguing, although I don't know if the trailer was like great. And now I see why, because, you know, I won't continue to watch, I don't think.
I don't think I'm going to either.
Yeah.
Especially like given the other, like, so we're recording 2 episodes tonight. And so like the other show that we watched, I found much more interesting. So if like I had to pick between the 2, I absolutely will watch the other one.
Okay, all right. Well, spoilers for that episode. Although who knows when we're releasing these? No one knows.
Yeah, no one knows. You know, but I don't.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
true.
just talking.
Literally only one person knows. It's me. All right. Would you recommend it at least?
I don't even know if I would.
Listen, I don't think I would because I don't think it was a captivating pilot for people that
Yeah.
don't know this story already. And if you've read the book, I don't know, maybe you'll love it. But I could also see people that love the book being like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't
Yeah.
the feeling I got when I read the book.
Yeah.
Just knowing how popular it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure I would recommend it.
I don't think I would, especially like, so a lot of my friends loved Big Little Lies. I just felt
The
like
book?
the
Show.
But I felt like that really did hook you from like the first episode. Like that
Yeah.
pilot was great. So I don't know. I feel like anyone who like that I knew that watched that would be like, this seems dumb.
I mean,
You know, but we could be wrong. Maybe it's a fantastic show and it's a bad pilot, like happened with Mayor of Easttown. But I don't think this is Mayor of Easttown.
no, I would venture a guess that this is not going to be Mare of Easttown.
This isn't door enough.
Yeah, again, just a function of all of these characters and having to introduce them to us and to each other. Like, nothing actually happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. When it ended, I was like, wait, really? What the fuck? This is where they're going to end
They
it?
introduce all these characters, and then Masha gives like some ominous delivery of something like,
But yeah, that's right. It just like fell flat. Like there was literally nothing that
yeah. I was like, oh, is that supposed to leave me with like some tense feeling? Because it didn't.
didn't.
All right, worst pilot ever, guys. Scratch that one off your list.
Yeah, we're kind of. I don't think I'd recommend this.
Yeah. All right. If you have suggestions on shows for us to watch, you can email us at trybypilot@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at trybypilot. And go on to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, subscribe to the show, leave a review, and tell a friend.
And thank you to the Beats for providing our theme music.
Thanks, Beats.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Watching television, watching television. Watching television,